Okay, so this is part 2, and I did some things here. I'm gonna show you guys. So the idea is to show if you have the proper planes, geometries, and so on in place, you can do a lot of cool stuff. Let's see if this is going through. Yeah, okay. With the footage. I mean, this is just a practice test, but it has really real applications. So what did I do here? So as you guys can see, I have here, this is the camera. So this is the footage. I'm gonna just freeze the frame. I'm projecting it on the ground. So the ground is the only geometry that I have separated. This is the ground, right? Right. And then I apply this into the ground. I'm projecting the footage itself. See the project 3D, this is the camera, into the ground plane. Okay, great. So scanline render set to perspective will give me this. As you can see, it's stabilized. Why? Because I have a frame hold here, right? So that gives me the option to organize this. This is mega ugly. Okay, so that gives me the option to paint the reflections away, because they are stabilized. The camera is not moving. So I did a very bad paint work, and you guys can make it better in real life. This is horrible, but this is just to show the idea. I'm not doing it properly now. So I just frame hold it, and then I'm using the same camera on the same frame to frame hold the camera and apply it back to the plane itself. So what's happening here now? This is projecting the texture. Let me hide this. Without the concrete poles, the pillars, and the reflection. Because my goal is to be able to relight the scene. So to avoid having duplicated stuff like pillars. I painted them out and also painted the reflections. You could also have this, I'll show you, give you a UV also. In this case, it's really up to you. So if you change here for UV, you get this, which is the UV projection of the texture. And then you would not hold the camera in place. See, but it's not as easy to paint as the stabilized plane. But this is up to you guys. So this is one option, and this is the other one. But as the movement, this will depend on the movement, of course. So as the movement here is really working well, whoops, yeah. Really stabilizes mega well. So yeah, so I went to the first frame, which is the one we see most of the ground, because here we don't see a lot of it. Did the paint, apply it back. So this is the same geometry, the ground. It was used to project the stuff with the reflection, and then I just take the geometry outside here and apply it the same texture, but without the reflections. Okay, great. So from this point, I bring it back to the main scene where I have all the geometries like this, but missing the ground, right? The ground is coming from outside. Then I have here the merge geo guy, and then I merge the ground back into its original place. Okay, all right. So what did I do here? I have one light, this light, it's attached to the camera. So as you guys can see, I have an axis plug into the light, because the light comes like this. So, oh, all right, beautiful. Okay, so the light is linked to the camera. You can see here, see it's right in front of the camera. So how does it work? You just take the camera and link, copy the values to the light, to the axis, and then you can use the light translations and rotation stuff to make an offset. So the light is following the camera but slightly in front of it and slightly pointing down. See? And then, just for fun, I have a second light, which is this one here, that is just making this, this path inside of this place, just going behind the pillar, blah blah blah, this type of stuff, moving a little bit inside. Okay, cool. So I just made a couple of keyframes, normal stuff, and I added a axis with a wave generator, like with random. You can find this on Nuke. There is a bunch of this. It's just an easy way to make a wave, or whatever you need. And I added this to the X, to the Y, so the light is moving slightly. So it's not like going, like a robot. It's moving slightly up or slightly down. I don't know if this will help a lot, but anyways. And then here I have the camera again, same camera. I can actually use this one here, the same camera. I don't even need to do it like this. I'm not using stamps on this one because I don't know if many people have it. I have it on my how to make a template tutorial, but yeah, I'm not using on this one to make it easy for everyone to follow. So what we have here now is a light moving inside, as you guys can see, a light in front of the camera, so following the camera as the camera moves, all right. A ground where the reflection, the highlights were painted out, and the rest is the normal projection working on the rest of the stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. So what I have from this point is I have this other pipe here, and this will come very handy. I'll show you guys what. So this is the point of view of the result of the camera. My light has a little, so this is the light on the back, which is behind the pillars. It's moving. See, pretty cool. All right. But let's ignore this one for now. And this is the light I have attached to the camera. And this is, I think, is pretty cool. Yeah. See how it's projecting a giant shadow from this guy here. Pretty cool. Let's see if we can improve this shadow a little bit. I don't think it is samples. Maybe. Make it 1 to 1. Okay. Yeah. If you decrease the resolution of the depth map, you get lines. See, but it's not so precise. If you increase, you get like more precise lights. If you increase it too much, it will be very, very heavy. The G3 scale is how the light will fade in the distance. I think that's pretty cool. The slope bias is on the sides of the geometry itself. So I think this needs to be pretty low. Okay. Right. This is the width of the sample. I mean, you can mess around with this for a long time and find a cool one. So this is the cone fall off of the light itself. And this is the penumbra point. See the right side. So I'm going for like a BodyCam type of vibe here. So I think that's what it is. If I turn on the other light, you can see it really works well, but for now I will leave it off. So why I use the axis on this case is because we can rotate the light in a separate way. You can also put another axis there if you want, but I think this is pretty cool. Right, so to add a little bit more realism, we'll take this guy out of the way. This is the render we're going to eventually replace. We can stick a switch here. Okay, so this is going live now. So I'll show you the rationale that I did, why I separated elements like this. So if I just take the same scene with all the stuff and apply like this, so I'm taking the whole scene, see, with the projection, blah blah blah, and applying an ambient occlusion to it, it will work, but it will give me a very dense, like a dark ambient occlusion. And it's calculating all of this stuff and then applying the material on top. Can you do it like this? Sure, but it's gonna be very heavy. Alright, so I decided to separate the objects, to do it before to avoid the projections. Alright, so I made a new group here and see how bright and clean it is, and I'll show you guys why. So it's still heavy because occlusion will always be heavy, but it's clean, clean, clean. So why? Because I don't have the ground, I don't have the ceiling actually. So the ground is here. I'm taking the ground from this point, and I'm taking everything but the ceiling, because if you add the ceiling, that's how occlusion will calculate, and then it will be very dark. See? So remove this, because I'm mostly focusing on the ground now, and that will give me a very clean occlusion. So I just invert it. I took the red channel. It's very simple. 1 minus whatever channel you want, because this is black and white, so it doesn't make sense. Doesn't change anything. And that's it. So you get a, this is the alpha, this is the alpha. I'll have to clip the top. Yeah, so this will be a bit heavy because of this guy. The occlusion is always a bit heavy to render. This one, not so much. So it's quite quick. So we can even preview a little bit. So once you have the geometries and stuff, you can really do a lot. And if you take the time, and I did not paint these highlights out, so they don't make a lot of sense. But if you have the time to play with this stuff and also make more geometry, so this is on the actual footage. See, I did not make this pipe, but it's a pretty cool exercise to make, and you can really do a lot of cool stuff with this. So yeah, so this is the part 2 of that same series. Like it's a quicker one, and I'm going to work a little bit more on this and try to have it look a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. See how the light works well. And if you remove the highlights, and then you have basically a diffuse texture. So if I kill this light, you see that it's flat. There's no reflection. And it's missing a bit of that. Ground is this guy here. So it's missing a bit of painting texture, right? Yeah. So this is the this is not the footage. This is the projection of the footage. To fix it this like this. I'm missing a little bit here. So what we can do is to combine. To project from a different. We'll put it here. Okay, so going back to this, to fix the problem of camera moving, we need to combine different projections. So this little messy stuff here, I'm gonna walk you guys through. What was the solution? Okay, take this stuff out of the way because it's very annoying. Right. So I have here a projection from the first frame. See, so it stabilized the footage from the first frame. Beautiful. But the real footage, we see more on this side. So on the first frame, we see more on this side. And then as we progress, see, there is a point we see a lot of stuff on this frame here, 16, that is not visible. So you have problems. I'll show you what problem you have. You have this problem. So when it projects, it's missing because you know the texture is not there. So what the solution is to build this exactly the same that we have here, which is skyline render. That is frame holder projection from frame 1. I paint the stuff, the reflections are out, frame 1, and then frame holder camera and project that on top of the geometry, right? So you have the same projection without the pillars and the highlight. Beautiful. So for the other one, I chose frame 116 because the very last frame before the wall shows up here. Go show you guys for this little wall here. So frame 16. You apply that to the plane, the same geometry of the ground, render the same stabilized stuff. So it's stabilized on this point because you can see it here. So it will do like this. Beautiful. 16. Paint out the reflection. Well, it's not done yet. Alright, let's do it now. Okay. What the transparency a little bit. Just go ahead and paint the stuff. Okay, very bad job, but you know, that's what it is for now. I just made an alpha like this, promote it, hold and projection, hold the paint and the frame of the camera. Merge material over the previous one. See if we can see the, possibly we can. Yeah, see, it adds a little guy here on the side. Alright. And then that is applied on the ground again. Goes to the same pipe. And then here, if it's all working well, we should have projections. The texture should be fixed. Right? It appears to be. Yeah, so just keep going and adding the little bits that are missing. You know, and you should be good. I'm not gonna do it on all of it now because you know, it's a pain in the ass. But that's not the idea of the tutorial. The idea is to show what you can do once you rebuild the environment. We are still missing this pipe. I'll rebuild it now. This there one, that's a twisted one. Well, let's see if we can do it. I don't guarantee anything anymore. Okay. Okay, first one seems to be fine. I don't know if we can build this crazy stuff here, but let's just put something there at least. I'll put a... oh, not a sphere. This one will be a pain in the ass to build. Let's put a box for now. Kind of. Put a little sphere here. This crazy bit in the middle. Let's see. It will just be like a plane for our projection. As long as it sticks there, I'm fine with it. So we have what here now? Polygon, sphere, the cube, and the big cylinder. Right, let's bake it all together. Oh. Let's see. It's a bit strange. Well, let's see if it works for the projection. And the cylinder is also strange. Let's see. If it works for the projection, it works. Okay, beautiful. So let's see the occlusion. Suspect it's not to the ground, but let's see. Yep. All right. Yeah, tricks and tricks to make it semi-work somehow. Oh, let's make the light. Oh, this one actually, no, this one. Yeah, so there you go. We managed to build the environment more or less. We did some paintings to remove the highlights and all that stuff, so we can relight it. We attach the light to the camera. We put an extra light behind the objects there. Now, yeah, this one. And yeah, so you know, we can do all sorts of stuff from this. Let's see if we have the depth channel coming out here. I think it's automatic, so let's try to defocus this. Let's see if it will crash the whole stuff, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Focal point set up. Yeah. So let's put the focus here, for example, on this little point, this crazy object. A bit before, like this should be fine. Result. So see, this is autofocus now, and the focus plane is there, so we can, because we have the actual geometries, we can change the focus point. Not sure if it makes sense, but this is something we can do. So there's a lot of advantages when you have this type of stuff in place. This is kind of the same ease of life when you have a LiDAR. You can align the LiDAR to the shot, and then you have all the flexibility of doing this type of stuff. You can move the focus point here, obviously, to this guy, and then it will defocus all the background, like so. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do. So yeah, that's the part 2 of this video. I hope it's not so long. Maybe it is. Yeah, I hope this serves as an incentive for people to experiment more with camera tracking, because it gives you a lot of possibilities. I mean, you can even go inside and use this as a space for you to make particles flying behind the pillars and in front of them. We can even make that for the part 3 of this series, right? So I think that's a good idea. Alright, so for part 3 we can make particles going behind and in front of the pillars, and then we can use deep to hold out the stuff in front and behind them. Alright, okay, so that's the plan. Alright, and I hope to see you on the next one.